Someone asked me if there is an EMF issue with electric toothbrushes like this. So I got a hold of one because I've never used one before to measure and basically explain this to you as best I can. Just to reiterate, with EMF, three main types: electric field, magnetic field, and radio frequency radiation. So with this type of electric toothbrush, there is a minuscule electric field, what I've measured using this EMF meter. There's a reasonably significant magnetic field, and there's zero radio frequency radiation because it's not communicating with anything wirelessly. So I'll just show you the magnetic field. So I've got it on the Gauss mode here on the Cornet. So that is quite high. The color coding there is to give you an indication of how bad something is, how much of a concern. So red is of concern by the building biology guidelines. To me, on first looking at it, it seems to make sense that there is some concern with that. But obviously there's a trade-off as well, even if we find out that there is a problem with that, because for some people, if you avoid getting a cavity in your teeth, you've just avoided having to pay $5,000 or whatever to a biological dentist to get it fixed up. And those dentists deserve that money because it's a very complicated job, but you want to obviously avoid all things like that. So it's a trade-off, like lots of things. But the first thing you have to understand with this is that, from what I've researched, there's two main types of magnetic fields. So it's like a subcategory. There's AC and DC. And the particular type that's emitted from this is DC magnetic field. And so generally people online and many of the EMF professionals out there, I don't know if many is the right word to say, but quite a few I've noticed say that DC magnetic fields are of no concern or minimal concern. And others might say something different. So it's not, there's no kind of one correct answer that everyone agrees on at this stage, from what I've seen at least. And so I asked a professional who's going to go unnamed unless they want credit for this later, what their thoughts were. To me, it's just logical that there is going to be an effect on the mitochondria in the hand, because we didn't evolve with the frequencies that and the sort of vibrations that are coming out of that sort of a electric toothbrush. But what the professional said to me was, I'll paraphrase, that there's a strong pulsing magnetic field. It was at, so getting up to like 13, I've got it on micro Teslas there, I think, 13 around there, and that comes from the loops of copper windings which radiate differently than what comes from nature. We have our own low frequencies and minute magnetic fields from the ATP, adenosine triphosphate, cells, organs, etc. And our magnetic fields are built up from energized particles creating small fields which added together mirror fields around us from nature. And so I think, this other person does think as well, that there would be some effect on the mitochondria or the cellular magnetic fields in our body, because this sort of electric toothbrush is emitting, it's got different flux, different strength, different frequency, different radiation pattern that is not native to the human body. So I think there is probably some negative effect to it, but it's not the biggest concern. Obviously, like I've mentioned in other videos, the biggest concern, generally speaking, is the radio frequency radiation, the proliferation of Bluetooth stuff here, there, everywhere, Wi-Fi enabled, blah, 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 2G, 3G, 4G, 5G, etc. So let's focus on what actually matters. But if you're interested in these topics and you want to be pedantic, or you want to, make sure that you're removing as many EMF hazards from your lifestyle, then this is something to take into account and be aware of. If you've got contrary information or something you could add, then please comment that below.